Welcome to the Explainer. Listen, we need to completely reset our expectations right out of the gate today because the source texts we're exploring, they radically reframe how we look at ancient scriptures. According to this framework, we are absolutely not looking at a dusty book of history. No, we are looking at a live, cosmic operating system. The sources are proposing this mind-bending concept of the Quran as an eternal Tesseract memory, a living, breathing architecture that actively runs reality itself. The Quran is not ancient history. It is the operating system of return. Like, wow, that quote really hits you, right? It's the absolute core of what our sources call the dual caustic universe, or DCU for short. This text proposes a staggering framework, a deterministic engine that is literally initialized by verse 1850, dictating everything from the rhythm of a human heartbeat to the exact crazy geometric dynamics of a black hole. And it is an engine designed for one single purpose: return. So here is our roadmap for unfolding this massive blueprint today, this mandala of return. We'll start with the topological engine. Then we'll look at the dual forces of driver versus witness, explore the 237 source code, dive into black holes and hearts, and wrap it all up with the 1912 activation. Okay, let's jump right into section 1, the topological engine, unveiling the mandala of return. We really need to understand the container where all of this cosmic code is operating. The sources define this dual caustic universe, the DCU, as a recursive topology. So don't think of it as just empty space. Think of it as a closed, completely sealed loop, where the reader, yes, that's you, is the actual singularity at the very center. The universe operates inside this enclosed, cursey container, which the text maps to verse 255, acting as an event horizon. This boundary holds all energetic exchange, completely preventing the universe's energy from leaking out into chaotic decoherence. Structurally, absolutely nothing leaks, and mathematically, everything returns. Moving right along to section 2, driver versus witness, the dual fields of the cosmos. So how does this enclosed universe actually move? The sources suggest everything operates through a split between two fundamental fields, and it contrasts them beautifully. On one side, we have the D10 field, known as the driver. This is the measurable, physical universe heavily associated with the brain and IQ and anchored in that verse 1850 default state we mentioned. It's particle-based, kinetic, and pulls downward like roots. Now on the other side, we have the I9 field, the witness. This one is hidden, associated with the heart and EQ. It operates as a wave, preserving light and meaning, what the sources call the pre-installed Fitra trace, found in verse 3030, installed via verse 5021. Basically, one field measures and the other remembers. But, these two fields don't just exist in isolation. They are totally co-installed. The driver generates the friction and differentiation we need for manifestation to happen at all, while the witness integrates all that action to guarantee the conservation of information across cycles. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is their dependency, meaning without measurement is totally unexpressed, but measurement without meaning, well, that just becomes chaotic, random noise. Which brings us to section 3, the 237 source code, the mathematical shadow of the operating system. How exactly do the driver and the witness talk to each other? They communicate through a universal sequence. It's literally the AC current of the cosmos. Let's walk through it. It starts with a 2, representing Earth, the D10 measurable field. Then it moves to a 3, the tree. The sources map this to a traversal buffer zone that mediates all expansion and compression. Then we hit another 2, water, the I9 hidden memory field. Finally, it reaches the 7, the fruit, representing stabilized return and closure. This constant rhythmic breathing of the universe cleans out residue through motion before finally giving birth to form. And this is where it gets crazy. The Collatz conjecture in modern mathematics? That famous unsolved problem with expanding odds and compressing evens? According to our sources, the Collatz conjecture is simply the physical D10 shadow of this exact 237 structure. Meanwhile, the Quran provides the actual I9 source code. Verse 57.4 is the light sourcing this breathing universe. Verse 24.35 acts as the photon sphere where light reconciles. And verse 39.23, that's the external induction field, the actual Tesseract memory holding the recursion. Math just traces the edges, but the text explains why it loops. All right, section 4, black holes and hearts, scaling from the macro to the micro. Get ready because we are about to do a massive zoom out and then a massive zoom in. The source text argues that this exact 237 cosmic code exists seamlessly across all scales. A Kerneman black hole isn't just a dead, floating object. The texts map it as the physical execution of this cycle. The outer horizon is the D10 particle emission. The photon sphere is the causal tree trapping light. But here is the critical insight. Right at the ring singularity, the vortex bifurcates. The sources describe an Iblis spiral, trapped by verse 3420 frame dragging, locked in endless rotation, and hitting the no-hair theorem where all information is hidden, mapped to verses like 1092 and 8713, neither dead nor alive. But against this is the Abraham spiral. This one uses the Penrose process, mapped to verse 2169, to extract verse 22069 wisdom from the spin, cooling the fire. Now, hit the brakes for a second. You might be asking, so what? What does a massive black hole have to do with me? The answer is this number right here, 0.83. This entire cosmic sequence, acting out in the farthest reaches of space, is mathematically identical to the 0.83-second cycle of your own heartbeat. That's right. The human heart operates using that exact same cosmic topology. The right chambers receive, open wave-like, representing the I9 light phase. The left chambers eject, acting as defined particles, representing the D10 shadow phase. The full cycle is a pump and electrical reset. Your heart is not just a biological pump. It is the ultimate buffer, alkalb. It acts as an actual decoherence clock that processes this macrocosmic math in real time, right inside your chest, every 0.83 seconds. Finally, we reach Section 5, the 1912 activation, escaping the matrix. We have this engine, this memory, this beating heart, but what do we actually do with it? We need the executable command required to awaken the reader from the default state of drifting. By default, the human mind operates in a state of wandering blindly in intoxication. Verse 1572 describes this perfectly. We're trapped entirely in the measurable D10 world of accumulation. But through a specific code, the reader transitions into an active conducting bridge. You literally stop the decay of entropy. The brain becomes transparent to the heart, acting as the glass through which the inner lamp illuminates the throne, beautifully mirroring the light imagery in verse 2435. So, what is the executable command? It's this exact verse, O Yahya, take the book with strength, 1912. In the DCU framework, this is the forward bias voltage. It's the physical centromere grip, the Qua. When you grip the book with structural determination, you collapse the illusion. Without this grip, the glass opacifies and you become stuck, like the first disbeliever in verse 241. With it, you declare verse 663. This grip is what stops the endless spin and opens an Einstein-Rosen bridge. It maps from verse 663 right through the traversal throat of 3846, exiting into the flat spacetime of 457, allowing you to stand orthogonal to the matrix entirely, like in 1957. Let's summarize this whole wild, esoteric framework. The book is framed not as history, but as the throne itself. The music of this topology rings out, like the scattered birds in verse 2260 called back by the I9 frequency, or the witness resting upon the water in verse 11:7. You, the reader, are the singularity anchored around the fixed D10 stone of return from verse 2158. The key to activating this entire system is the 1912 grip. When applied, the fire sorts, the bridge between physics and meaning opens, and the cosmic mandala breathes in sync with your own heart. According to this blueprint, you don't just look at the throne. By activating the code, you literally sit upon it. I want to leave you with a single, really provocative thought. The mechanics of this framework are laid out. The Tesseract memory is said to be running its 0.83-second cycle inside your chest right now, waiting for the activation code. So when will you become the book? Think about that, and we'll see you in the next explainer.